Well, welcome to Buena Vista Update number 52, the last one for 2018. A lot of stuff got done this month. Not any scenery at all, but a lot of other little stuff that just needed to be done. I've got a whole lineup over here that you can look at. First of all, I finally painted and weathered this engine. This engine is a Broadway Limited Mikado, a 282, that I bought well over a year ago. I have been waiting for over a year to paint and weather this thing, and I finally got around to it. So there you are. It's numbered 2836, and as you can see, I lettered it, I decaled it for Sioux Line. And then to go along with that, I completely repainted a Buena Vista boxcar. Caboose. This is the largest Buena Vista caboose I owned, and also put decals on that for Sioux Line. So now we have a little Sioux Line through freight that will go through the layout. Caboose number one here. Both of these cabooses, in fact, needed new marker lights. If you remember, you probably don't remember, I did an article for Railroad Model Craftsman way back when, and I'm going to go look and see when that was. It was January of 2006, and as you can see, I got the cover on this, and it was easy to build working marker lights. Anyway, I have them in all my cabooses, and these two cabooses, one of the lights had gone out, and the Sioux Line, when I repainted it and all that, I wound up by screwing up the wiring on that. So I redid those things. The Doodlebug. This is number 60. This is my original Doodlebug. This was a kit bash from, I believe it was an Art Curran article way back in the, when would that have been? Probably the early 80s or late 70s. It was a cover story, and the headline on Model Railroader was Kit Bash a Doodlebug. Anyway, I did kit bash the Doodlebug, and this is it. It had some problems in that some of the wheels had started touching the metal frame on the thing, and so I alleviated that. Number 22, I always call this the anniversary locomotive because it's the only one that has that red and white stripe down the side. It's the only steamer that has it. Anyway, this one is the last of my locomotives that has two decoders in the tender. There's a sound decoder and a motor decoder. They got totally hosed up somehow, and I had to completely redo those. And in fact, I have been fussing with all of my locomotives, and I don't own that many. I think I have 8 locomotives. I've been fussing with all of them in JMRI, getting the sound levels to where I wanted them, the acceleration and deceleration to where I wanted them. And that's been going on all month. I finally built and added 6 boxcars to the layout. I bought these. These are both branch line. These are representative of the 6. There was 2 Illinois Central, the one on the left, that I bought at the silent auction at the NMRA convention in Kansas City, and I bought a 4-pack of the nickel plate boxcars, which you see on the right here. All of them have individually different numbers. I finally built those. You can see I have not weathered them or really done much of anything other than built them and put them on the layout, but that's a big deal because I could use those. I spent a lot of time fussing around in JMRI operations, thanks to my friend Chuck Diljack, to get my interchange working correctly. We still don't know if it does or not, but it's in testing right now. The track adjusters, you remember, if I get down here you can see this. I did an article in Model Railroader, probably a year or two ago, about this mechanism here, if we can get it in focus. The mechanism, basically there's a screw on a copper tie that will make the track go back and forth, and that will adjust it for the the room and the layout breathing in the warm and cold weather outside. I wound up by, as I was closing the door here, you're looking at the swinging door. As I was closing the door, I wound up by totally hosing this one up, so I redid this one. I redid one of the ones over here, which turned out to be to redo them. It turned out to be relatively easy. I thought it was going to be a real pain, but it was not. And the last thing I did, oh no, let's take that back. I spent a bunch of time fussing with the turnouts here. This is the town of Pierce. Fussing with the turnout here and the turnout here because I was having some problems with the weather expanding the track and getting some derailment. So I spent a bunch of time fussing with that. And the last thing I did, as I was going to get to this, I finally found my Master Model Railroader certificates. I've earned 8 of the 11 of them so far, and I wound up by putting them on the wall here underneath the upper staging track. I haven't had those up since we moved 5 years ago, but there are my 8 certificates for Master Model Railroader. Anyway, like I said, not major layout stuff, but a lot of stuff that really needed to be done, and a lot of maintenance work, which just because of the convention, the narrow gauge convention, and all of that stuff, it just needed to be done. So that wraps up 2018. I hope all of you out there have a great holiday season. Have a happy new year, and I will join you again in the middle of January 2019.